Hey guys, we're going to put this video on our How to Do Stuff in Japan playlist because we frequently get asked questions about how much people earn in Japan, specifically how much people who come here visiting might be likely to earn. So here's a Denny's restaurant. You can see minimum wage there is about 850 yen, so it's about $9, which is about minimum wage. They get penalties for nights and weekends and things. There's 950, so it's about $10, $12 an hour. So Japan's ranked number 11 in the world for minimum wage. So it's down there a little bit. And to our American friends, just a little reminder, of course, in Japan there's no tipping. So that's the gross amount that you'd be earning. And then you get the first $10,000 a year is tax exempt. So the first $200 a week that you earn is tax exempt. And then after that you'd be paying about 25% in tax. And then on top of that, it's quite possible that you'd have to pay for pension and for health insurance and things like that, depending on what terms you're here under. So, of course, the average foreigner coming here would be able to get a job working in a convenience store or at Denny's anyway. Most foreigners that come here would be teaching a language or doing something similar to that. So you can see here, that's a school, that's a teaching. Up to, it says, up to 2,100 yen per 60 minutes, but of course you don't know how many lessons they're going to give you a week. When you're looking at jobs like that, that's something to keep in mind. There's no guarantees. But you can see, it seems to be, for the average person coming here working full-time as an English teacher, it seems to be about $2,500 to $3,000 a month. Seems to be about the average, sometimes less. The 40-minute lesson starting at 1,500 yen, but you just don't know how many lessons they're going to give you a week. They might give you one a day, and they might give you 5 a day. So it's hard to know. You'd want more information about that. But if you can get a full-time job teaching, seems to be about $2,500 to $3,000 a month, as you can see here. And then specialist jobs, people who come here as specialists, of course, can earn more. As far as cost of living, it depends on where you live. We've talked about this on a previous video, cost of living in Japan. If you're living in Tokyo, of course, it's going to be pretty expensive. If you're out in a little town somewhere out in the sticks or outside of a big city, it might be cheaper and you might be able to get by. But usually teachers who come here for a year or so and then go home usually don't take any spare cash back with them. They've usually burnt it all by the time they pay. Quite often the schools, when people work for schools here, the schools will provide accommodation and then take the rent for the accommodation off the top of the teacher's pay before they pay them. So they'll have their $2,500 a month, $3,000 a month. They'll deduct the rent, and then they'll deduct the tax, and then they'll deduct health insurance, the government health insurance, and then they'll deduct whatever other deductions they might happen to have and give them what's left. So the stories from teachers in Japan abound like that. There's lots of stories like that, teachers talking about that sort of stuff in Japan. So it tends just to be a way to be here, particularly if it's a sponsored visa. So we made another video previously about jobs and visas in Japan, so if you've got any questions about that, have a look at that video. We'll put a link down underneath this one as far as what jobs foreigners can get and what visas you need. And then as far as this, looking at jobs, job surfing, this is a pretty good site, so we'll put a link for that underneath this video as well. And it's also listed on English Friendly Japan, so you can go to English Friendly Japan and then look at employment and go to Tokyo, and you'll get a link for it on there. Get some more information about your specific field. Hope somebody found that useful. More videos coming soon.